Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning for the Morning Mint. We are here with two of our real estate experts, Joan Kagan and Chloe Godin, who are working hard in Manhattan every single day for their clients across the city. And we're very excited to have them on today to talk about something that's been buzzing in the news lately, and that is about writing a love letter to a seller. Good morning, Joan and Chloe.
Good morning, Rosanna. Happy Tuesday.
Good morning, ladies.
Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. So yes, it's been in the news. We've been talking in our own meetings about it and how so many people use love letters to a seller in order to make their case for being chosen as the buyer. And, you know, the three of us have talked about this. Love letters are something that we all like, that that you've both recommended to your clients to use in the past, that I've used personally in the past. And so it's kind of hard to hear that these are being frowned upon because they really can work wonders when trying to buy a home. And so we wanted to dig a little deeper today to talk about what the reasons are behind people warning against using them. And we're going to start with talking about the protected classes for fair housing in New York City. So as a reminder for our viewers, fair housing laws protect particular classes. And so people cannot be discriminated against in purchasing or renting real estate based on their age, their citizenship status, their color, their creed or religion, disability, familial status, gender identity, expression, lawful occupation, lawful source of income, marital status, national origin, partnership status, race, or sexual orientation. So with that as a foundation for our conversation, Chloe, coming over to you, tell us about these love letters. What are they and why do people use them?
Great question. So love letters are basically letters from the buyers to the sellers when they're submitting an offer. We need to show that they're real buyers. So we show proof of funds, a pre-approval letter. But it's also a way to show to the seller to differentiate themselves from other buyers and just to show to the seller why they love the house, what it was about it that really stood out to them, and to connect more on an emotional level and to show to sellers that, you know, they're human beings who are buying a house, because sometimes we get very focused on the financials. So it also allows to give a bigger picture of who these buyers are and how they see themselves in the home. And especially in today's market, that's a very strong seller's market, and there are lots of buyers making offers. It's a good tool to differentiate and stand out and say, hey, we really love this home. Like, this is why we love this home.
Okay. And as somebody who may be emotionally attached to the home that I'm selling, certainly I'm going to want someone who's going to love it equally or more and treat it with so much love and care. You know, I mean, that's not always the case. Obviously, in some cases, there are investors who are not at all emotionally attached to the home that they're selling. And so, Joan, what are the perils that people have to beware of when writing these love letters? And what are your general thoughts about these love letters?
National Association of Realtors made the suggestion that we no longer accept buyer love letters because they don't want to put sellers in the position of violating fair housing laws. So, for example, say a buyer writes a letter that they are going to be celebrating their Christmas dinners with their young children in this house. You've already put in religion and age as two, and familial status, which are three protective categories. So say the next person is not Christian and single, that person can come back and say, oh, hey, you violated fair housing because you took the person of a different religion or different familial status. My concern, particularly for New York City, is we also have co-op boards. So co-op boards are bound by fair housing laws, but they don't need to disclose the reason why they don't accept a buyer. Yet, when we are presenting buyers to our sellers, we also need to make sure that they are likely to be approved by the board. take fair housing out of it. We're talking about people who are going to be both your neighbors and who you are in business with, because you are members of a co-op together. So you are in a business relationship with them as well. So I happen to find it very helpful when I'm representing sellers, and when we get an offer, just tell us a little bit about your buyer. And sometimes that can be where they work, why they love this apartment, or something else. I've been asked, just for showings I have today, to have a little bio of the buyers before even scheduling an appointment.
And when the is it the sellers that are asking for the bio?
Honestly, I'm not sure if it's the sellers or the seller's agent, but I would imagine probably the sellers. I've been in that position as well. I think in that situation, it should be the seller's agent saying, hey, I'm not sure if we can do this anymore. We might be setting you up to be providing the appearance that you might be violating fair housing, even if that's not your intention.
Got it.
Is the bio, that's interesting that they're asking you that. I've been asked previously to certify that financially they can purchase the property. And I feel like that's a fair question. And all our buyers know that before we go out, we need to have a pre-approval letter or a proof of cash, right? If you're going to be an all-cash buyer. And I think it's interesting to see that even before we're doing visits now, there's this extra step. I think it really indicates what a hot seller's market it is.
Good point too.
Well, Chloe, so you were just sharing that you have a new listing that just hit the market and you had 13 showings yesterday. Is that right?
Yes. On Sunday, we had our first open house and we had 13 groups show up by appointment. A couple people showed up unexpectedly, which is also a great sign that COVID is hopefully done, at least in New York City. 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom at 145 West 86th Street, beautiful apartment. And everyone wants to move. Everyone wants a nice new home. It has beautiful open views. Lots of people were coming. And I don't know how a lot of people want to make an offer. We're going to see how this plays out. We're going to continue on showing, obviously. But it is a good tool, the love letter, to understand a little bit more about who the buyers are. And the sellers, my clients, have been living there for over 25 years. They raised their children in the apartment. And understandably, it would be nice to know who's going to buy the apartment. They haven't said anything to me, but I just can imagine that conversation when you're going to have to decide between multiple offers. How do you decide? And for sure, finances are very important, but it is a human transaction. And that's what I often remind my buyers. Our numbers need to line up and make sense, but you're buying a home. This is going to be your home, and so our roles as brokers is to keep kind of the bigger picture, but also make sure the details fit. So I think there's a way to do the love letters that's not, that doesn't delve into fair housing. You could just say, Chloe and Bob are buying the apartment. We don't have to say whether we're married, whether we're dating, whether Bob is a man or a woman. There are ways that you can specify things. And I think if you focus on, we love this apartment because we really like to cook and we want open views, you're specifying what about the apartment or the house that you like, and without risking, differentiating, falling into one of the protected classes. I understand in New York City, we're very wary and always consult with your attorney. Any answer I usually give is always verify with a contractor, an architect, the board, an attorney, because we want to make sure that people really get the information from the professionals who know. But as brokers with experience, love letters have been a really good tool. So I don't know. We'll probably find a way to make it work while protecting the classes and protecting sellers and buyers.
Of course.
I think it's also important to remember we're not selling widgets. So it's really, we can say, all that really matters is who has the most financially qualified offer, but we're selling homes and there's an emotional component there. And I think when you submit an offer to somebody's home, and this is so personal, this is really there's no more personal reflection of who you are than your home. So it is very helpful to have that offer kind of humanized. Here's the person who we're talking to. It's not just someone who's trying to screw you, someone who's devaluing what is most important to you, but just kind of like showing their motivation. Maybe it is a young family just starting out and this is really all that they can afford. That's why they came in with a low offer. And again, I just violated fair housing, but it is important to kind of look at the bigger picture. We've also, and I've been in a situation where we've had two financially identical buyers. Like same offer, same amount financing. Right. Finances are really pretty similar. And you need to like differentiate. How are you, like, which buyer are you going to go with? And maybe sometimes at that point, it does go, who do you want to be doing business with? Who do you want to be conducting business with? And who might be, who might your co-op board like more or respond to more?
Right. Right. And that makes so much sense. And, some of the news articles that we've seen about this particular topic talk about not only, fair housing, but also just unconscious bias that the seller may exercise when reading this letter and not realize that they're being discriminatory, but it's an unconscious bias. And so what we say is, again, the three of us have, we like the love letter. We see the benefits to the love letter. And it's not likely going to disappear anytime soon. So you just want to make sure that you're doing it right. So as always, if you are looking to buy, Joan and Chloe are here to help you. They are experts. They've been doing this for many years at all price points, and they understand the ins and outs of how this works and how to win a bidding war. And so they will guide you in exactly what you need to do in order to make your love letter work and without being a violation of fair housing. And also, obviously, if you're already working with someone and you're considering doing this, do consult with your attorney to make sure that you are keeping everything within fair housing guidelines, but also getting the message across that this is the right home for you. Okay, well, I want to thank you both so much, Chloe and Joan, for joining us and for educating our viewers on, how to best approach this. And we hope to have you on again very soon.
Have a great day. Have a great week, everyone.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.